guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a book haul. So this isn't like a huge 1,000 book haul like everyone else on YouTube does, but I do have a decent amount of horror, thriller, etc. that I wanted to share with you. Most of these were sent to me either by like publishers or by you guys, but they're all books that I wanted. And so they're all books that I'm excited about. A couple of them I've read already, but I still wanted to share, and you know, I just like getting on here every once in a while and thanking you guys for being some of my only friends. Like, you have no idea how much it means to me that people are nice to me, because a lot of times, like, I don't feel like I deserve people to be this nice to me, you know, and I do get a lot of shit, but overall, I just have a very positive experience on this channel, and like, you guys honestly mean so much to me, and I just love talking to you, and I just can't thank you enough if you're just kind to me and say nice things and send me books, whatever. Like, you don't have to send me books, I still appreciate you, but I do want to go through and thank everyone because I just feel weird not doing that. So these are some of the books that I have accumulated over the past few months. I really have not been buying any books. A couple of these I've bought, but I've been pretty good with not buying books and reading the books that I own and the books that are on my Kindle. So shout out to me. Like, I just have so many medical bills that I cannot be spending any money that is not necessary at the time. So yeah, like I said, this isn't a huge haul, but we are just going to jump right in. I don't know, this is in no particular order, but I did get, first things first, The Obituaries issue 5 by Christopher Triana, Aaron Beauregard, and Daniel Volpe. This is stunning. Of course, it's their little like novelette collections, and then the foreword in here is by Brian Smith, and I have the signed, you know, limited edition copy here. This is number 36. There's only 500 copies. So I can't wait to read this. I still need to read issue 4. Hopefully I can get to it this month in November. But yeah, I'm super excited to dive into this one. I love the cover. It's stunning. I love the artwork in these books. There's always like some crazy artwork and stuff also. And I picked up this nonfiction book called Past Mortems by Carla Valentine. So this is a book about a woman who is an anatomical pathology technologist, and it's about mortuary work, and it's just a topic that I really love. And I recently read that book by Caitlin Doty, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and I really enjoyed it, so I picked this one up as well. And then sticking to that theme, my friend James, for my birthday, got me this book called All That Remains, a forensic scientist talking about death, mortality, and solving crimes. So I thought this was super interesting as well. And I love how James, for my birthday, he goes to Barnes & Noble and he's like, text me your Amazon wish list so he can pick out a book at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, okay. So I send him my wish list and he's like, I feel really awkward asking the person at Barnes & Noble's if they have a book called Genital Grinder, so I got you this one instead. And I was like, well, good thing you didn't ask, because they wouldn't have it there anyways. Yes, I'm so excited to dive into this one. I've been getting more into nonfiction recently, which makes me happy. That used to be all I used to read. I'm such a smarty pants, but yeah, so I'm excited to read those nonfiction ones. I mean, sticking with the theme of nonfiction, I picked this one up at the used bookstore. It's Holly Madison's book called Down the Rabbit Hole. This is about, of course, you know, she was a Playboy playmate for a while, and this is kind of spilling all the tea about how shady and sketchy Hugh Hefner was. And I mean, obviously, just look at him. Clearly we know there was something going on with him. But I don't know, apparently a lot of people told me that this is just really, I don't know, it's just like a really good memoir, spilling all the tea, so of course I had to pick this one up. I just have been really into celebrity memoirs recently, which I think there's another one here. There is. So I also have Tom Felton's memoir, Beyond the Wand. This one was sent to me by the publisher, Grand Central Publishing, so thank you so much. I used to be in love with him when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to marry Draco Malfoy. So, yeah, and my friend Erin read this book and she said it was really good. So another celebrity memoir. So yeah, I've read both of these. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, I just mentioned. I read it, I gave it 4 stars. My review is in my October wrap up, but my friend Amy sent this to me, so thank you so, so much, Amy. She actually sent me another book as well that I'm gonna get into in a second. And then the Britney Spears memoir. Speaking of celebrity memoirs, I've also read this one and reviewed it in my October wrap up. This one I gave 5 stars, absolutely loved it. I just admire everything that Britney Spears has gone through, and I admire her ability to speak her truth about those things. There's one more nonfiction here. It's called Imposter Syndrome No More, Overcome Self-Doubt and Imposterism to Cultivate a Successful Career. I just feel like I need this because I'm kind of going through, I say it's my midlife crisis and then people get offended because I'm 30, but like, no, I feel like I'm going through a midlife crisis with a lot of just life changes and things that I'm not happy about in my life that I want to change. And one of those things is my job. And I just kind of feel like imposter syndrome. Like, I constantly feel like I'm not good enough. I constantly feel like there's something wrong with me, that no one is going to want to hire me, that I'm not smart. Like, I'm just, I don't know. I'm very hard on myself. So I figured this would be a good one for me to read and try to work on that, because I know I'm better than what I think, but the math ain't mathing. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? And speaking of Amy, she also got me this thriller. So she sent me Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and then this one called Number One Fan by Meg Ellison. This one sounds so good. I've been dying to get to this. So this is about like a stalker. So a best-selling novelist gets into a cab and accepts a drink from the driver, trusting that everything is fine. She wakes up chained into the stranger's basement with no close family or friends expecting her to check in. She needs to save herself. She soon realizes that her abduction wasn't random. She thinks she might recognize her captor. She can't figure out what he wants. Like, this just sounds so creepy to me. I am terrified of stalkers. So this sounds like such a good thriller, and not one that I've really heard a lot of. So I'm always down to read some thrillers that aren't super popular, because I just know that there are some hidden gems out there that I'm missing. Then Jay from Luna's Library sent me the Har. You guys know I can't pronounce things. By David Sodergren. I'm so embarrassing, but this one, a couple of you guys had recommended this to me, and I've been dying to read something from this author because I see his books all over Instagram every single day. And first of all, I love his covers, and he has this pug that is like all over his Instagram, and like, look, there's the pug down there, and I just feel like this man I need to support. It said that this is a gore-soaked folk horror fairy tale. I don't know what that entails, but I've heard nothing but great things about both him and this book. So if I like this, I'm probably gonna buy all his books and just binge them. And then one of you guys sent me this book, but there was no note, so I have no idea who it's from, but it's What the Fuck Was That? By Bridget Nelson. She is a splatterpunk extreme horror author, and this is one of her short story collections, and I've been dying to read something from her and support her for forever. So I'm so excited that I have this, and her covers are just so cute and stunning. So I can't wait to check this out. out. Thank you so much. Whoever sent this to me, comment down below. Next, for my birthday, my friend Megan sent me a Christopher Triana. She sent me The Shepherd of the Black Sheep. This one is something about this guy is given custody of his 10-year-old granddaughter, and then someone murders her best friend. And now it says a murdered child, a missing murder weapon, a shattered community, family secrets, and second chances forge a twisted path through Christopher Triana's latest dark thriller. So, Christopher Triana thriller? I'm intrigued. Let me know if you've read this one and if you liked it. And then next, my friend Angie on Instagram sent me this one for my birthday. It's My Darkest Prayer by S.A. Cosby. So I absolutely loved Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, one of my favorite thrillers of all time. Like the newest one, his newest book, All the Sinners Bleed, I read and I loved the writing, but I just wasn't a huge fan of that book because it was really slow and dragged out for me. But I am dying to read more from him because I know that he's a great writer. So this one, I don't even know what this is about. It's something about a guy that works at his cousin's funeral home. It says when a local minister is found dead, they have to make sure the death isn't swept under the rug. What starts out as an easy payday descends into a maze of mayhem filled with wannabe gangsters, vicious crime lords, porn stars, crooked police officers, and a treacherous preacher and his mysterious wife. What does that entail? I have no idea. Once again, heard great things about it because it's S.A. Cosby. And I got another Christopher Triana sent to me from my friend Erin, and this is And the Devil Cried. I read this one, I gave it 5 stars. I reviewed it in my first 24 hours of reading extreme horror vlog, but this one is about this guy who, he's like a mobster and he was released from prison. And now he's like ready to get back to his boss and get back to work in the like mob crime business. And a drunk driver, I think it was a drunk driver. Yeah, a drunk driver kills his boss's son. And now he gives our main character the task of going after this drunk driver's preteen daughter. It is wild, insane. It's just this extreme horror, but like a mob crime twist to it. This one was just so crazy. It wasn't over the top with like violence and gore, but it was so chilling with just the way that our main character is and his moral issues and things that he does. This main character was just terrifying because he felt real. He felt like a real shitty person. So I've been dying to get a physical copy of this because I actually want to reread it because I don't have the best memory when it comes to audio. I mean, I don't have the best memory in general, but I would love to physically reread this one day. Then, of course, you know, I bought a copy of Burner by Robert Ford, which I've talked about on this channel many times already. I reviewed this in an extreme horror vlog and in my October wrap up. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely love this book. It's about human trafficking. It's done really well. It's like an extreme horror psychological thriller. I can't recommend this enough, and it really sheds light on some real life issues. So highly, highly recommend. I picked up Faithless by Karen Slaughter. This is the 4th book in the Grant County series. I'm on the 3rd book, so I plan on reading, what the heck is the 3rd book? A Faint Cold Fear. I plan on reading that in December, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then this one I saw at the used bookstore for $3, so I picked it up, and that is the next one in the series. But I just absolutely love Karen Slaughter's writing, and, you know, of course we're following the county, the town coroner and the town sheriff, and they investigate these brutal crimes. And it doesn't, you know, it's not like something that I would typically read, like the procedural crime type thrillers, but they are very disturbing and just so well written. Like, you get so much depth to these characters, and the thrilling, twisty aspects of her book are just so well done. So I just can't wait to continue with this series because you can't go wrong with her books. They're so well done. Then I picked up Erin Beauregard's Morbid Curiosities collection. This is all 3 of the books in the Morbid Curiosity like short story collection, and then this one has an intro by Christopher Triana. So this one was limited edition. There were only 250 signed hardcover copies. This is number 22. So I can't wait to read this. I haven't read any of them, so that's why when I saw this come out, I was like, oh, I should just get the whole collection and see what it's all about. Then DW Hits sent me his new book that's coming out. I don't know the exact date that this one's coming out, but it is an extreme horror holiday Santa book called Santa vs. Satan. This is about this guy named Danny. It says all he wants for Christmas is a drone to help make his first horror movie. He has a few friends who can join him if they survive the holiday season. It says Satan wants to bring an army to Earth, but is Christmas the best time for world domination? And then it says Santa wants a new Mrs. Claus. Can Danny get his drone? Will Satan run free? Will Santa be able to save Christmas or be stuck with the same old pie? This sounds so weird. Like, all of his books are so weird, but I plan on, let me know if you want to see this. Sorry, the camera's always messed up. I plan on doing like a holiday extreme horror reading vlog in December, so let me know if this is something that you want to see in there. And also let me know any Christmas themed or like holiday themed extreme horror books. Leave them down below. Next, Linda sent me this book called Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austen. And this is about a woman named Gilda. She can't stop thinking about death. And I guess she responds to a flyer that she sees for therapy, and she decides to go there for her anxiety, but there's like a miscommunication and they think she's there for a job interview. So now she gets hired working at this church, I think it is, and she is hired to replace this woman who died. And now there's like an ongoing investigation of her death, and she's like not who they think she is, because she's like, oh, I was here for therapy and I'm super anxious. And I don't know, just a lot of commentary about death. We'll see what this one's all about, but I heard good things. Then I was sent this Karen Slaughter book, After That Night, which is in the Will Trent series. It's the new Will Trent book, but like I'm still on the Grant County series, and this is like book number 1,000,000. I have no idea. So I don't know when I'm ever gonna get to this, but please let me know if you have to read the Will Trent series in order, because if you do, like if it's preferred to be read that way, I'm not gonna get to this for a very long time, but let me know if I would be able to read this not in order. I don't know. I kind of want to read them in order, so I'm going to try to make my way through the Grant County series and then hop on the Will Trent series in 2024 and hopefully get to this one eventually, but thank you. Then I had this book here, The World Beneath by Chisto Healy. This is one of the Splatter at Sea books, and this one was sent to me by Kristen, so thank you so much. I reviewed this in my 24-hour extreme horror vlog and in my wrap-up, but this one is just a super quick, fun little extreme horror splatterpunk book about the sea and how there's this black hole in the sea that's sucking people up, and they have to go on this rescue mission to find out what's going on. It was fun. It reminded me of just like an old cheesy movie, but like in a good way. Then of course Judith Sonnet sent me this gigantic textbook of her book Psych Ward Blues, which I've showed on this channel. Again, I've reviewed in my extreme horror vlog and in my wrap up, but I loved this book. I highly recommend if you're looking for an extreme horror that has some commentary on religion and the afterlife and what happens when we die. It's about a group of people in a psych ward during an apocalypse. The world is ending and they have to figure out what is going on and if they can stop it. So this is just so well done, so much character development, so much depth into the plot, like the storyline. This just had me hooked from start to finish, and there are some short stories in there that are just really well done and I highly recommend. Then I picked up this book called The Detained by Christopher Triana. This one I don't think is extreme horror. It's just like a short horror book about a girl named Phoebe. She returns to her town for her 20th high school reunion. She tells herself it's the best way to confront what has haunted her since her senior year. There was one boy who never lived to see graduation, and in a way she blames herself for this tragedy. She's now a psychologist and determined to face her demons by going back, but those demons may be fresher than she realizes. So this is like a haunted school kind of thing. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just slowly making my way through his entire backlist, so I'm going to give this one a go. I actually have no idea if this is still in print. Please let me know. Then I picked up these two books at Barnes & Noble. The first one is Schrader's Chord by Scott Leeds. I heard nothing but great things about this guy. And this one is about this guy who returns to Seattle to help with the funeral of his estranged father's death. And it says he discovers his father left him two gifts, the keys to the family record store and a strange black case containing 4 antique records that, according to legend, can open the gate to the land of the dead. So they play the records, of course, open the floodgates. Now they are stalked by a relentless, malevolent force and see the dead everywhere they turn. So I've heard nothing but great things about this one. It seems like something that can go either way for me, but everyone and their mother has been loving this and giving it 5 stars all over Instagram. So I needed to see what the hype was about, of course. And then I also picked up The September House, which is a horror comedy, and there's a blurb on here by Grady Hendrix. So of course I had to check this out, and my friend Chris said it's amazing, and I trust him. We have pretty similar interests when it comes to horror. So this is about this woman who is determined to stay in her dream home even after it becomes a haunted nightmare. So her and her husband like find this house, they buy it, it's a reasonable price, they're so excited, and then it says every September the walls drip blood. The ghosts of former inhabitants appear, and all of them are terrified of something that lurks in the basement. Most people would flee. But Margaret is not most people. So I'm excited to read this one because I'm not a haunted house type reader. Like, I just don't read or enjoy a lot of haunted house type books. But since this is more like, has a comedy vibe to it, I think I might like this one. I just can't stand straightforward horror that's like supposed to be scary because it's never ever scary to me. But if it's like horror comedy, it's just fun for me to read. So I'm gonna give this one a go. I was sent the new Chuck Palahniuk book. I showed this in my TBR. I'm gonna try to read it in November, but it's Not Forever, but Not For Now. Not Forever, But For Now by Chuck Palahniuk. This is just a really weird horror book. It just says it's about these two brothers. They, I don't know, murder is in the family business. There's weird things happening. Convicts are showing up at the door. A new tutor who has a penchant for speaking in Greek and dismembering sex dolls, bludgeoning, opioid addiction. I don't even know what is going on in the summary, let alone the book is probably going to be wild. So I'm interested in seeing what this is all about, but this just came out in September. And then I was sent this book that I reviewed by Unnamed Press, and that's Deliver Me by Elle Nash. This one I reviewed in my wrap-up. I was not a huge fan of it. It is an unhinged woman book and about religion and this woman who is determined to have her baby that she's pregnant with after having so many miscarriages. Lots of trigger warnings for animal cruelty and fertility issues, but I was just not super invested. It was very, very slow and dragged out for me and kind of boring. I really enjoyed the ending, but this was just one that wasn't really for me, but I can see other people enjoying this. So yeah. Guess who's back? Back again. I'm back because I'm brain dead, okay? Hi, I'm back. It's a couple days later. I forgot that I had some books that I forgot to mention because I'm brain dead. Okay, so I picked up a couple of books for a video, okay? One did not come, but we're gonna talk about it. So a couple didn't come, whatever. I had the idea to film a video that is me reading basic mainstream romance and fantasy books, because I feel like all these people are constantly overhyping the same books over and over and over again. I have FOMO. I want to see what all the hype is about. But also, I feel like I'm gonna hate them. I don't know. It's kind of like, you know how everyone on YouTube is like, oh, I read extreme horror for a week and like, did I survive? Like, it's kind of a shock value thing. But I read it, like, review extreme horror because I love it, genuinely. So I'm like, what if I did the opposite, where I'm like, extreme horror girly reads basic romance and fantasy for a week, will she survive? Okay, the first book that I got was Emily Henry's Book Lovers. This is like a contemporary romance, whatever. I don't even know what this is about. I've read the Orange book by her before that everyone was freaking out about. I hated it, so I'm probably going to hate this. I'm just guessing. The romance books, I feel like I'm absolutely going to hate. The fantasy books, I am going in with an open mind, but yeah. Then the other romance that I ordered was Tessa Bailey's My Killer Vacation. I have a smile on my face because I heard that it is horrible, cringy, and the sex scenes are laughable. So I just feel like I'm going to have a blast with this one. I'm going to get my highlighters ready and we're just gonna dive right into this one. But I ordered it for $3 on Pango, so like, you can't beat that, right? Then I picked up two fantasy books. The first one is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I've heard that this sucks. I don't even know what this is about. I heard that this first book is awful, but I am going in with an open mind. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna like this more than the romance books, but isn't this like a smut, like a weird smut book? A 19-year-old huntress kills a wolf in the woods. A terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Now she's dragged into a magical land. But he's not a beast all the time. Oh my god. No, is she gonna have sex with this wolf? Okay, say no more. Then I picked up the infamous Fourth Wing that everyone and their mother has been freaking out about. All I know is that this is about dragons. Someone told me it gave them Harry Potter vibes. I like Harry Potter, so I don't know, maybe I might like this one. My prediction is that I'm gonna like this one the best, but we'll see. I'm going in with an open mind at least for this one, but it is like a basic girl book, you know? We'll see. Then I was sent this book here, Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked Comes This Way. I've been wanting to check this out. It's like a Halloween book. Are these short stories? I don't even know. Carnival rolls in sometime after midnight, bringing in Halloween a week early. No idea. No idea, but I've heard great things. And then I picked up Nat Cassidy's new book, Nestlings. I don't even know what this is about. I read Mary. I liked it. I wasn't obsessed with it, but I did like it, and I am interested in reading his new book. I've also heard like great things about this one. The reason I didn't like Mary was because it was so freaking long, and I just felt like it was just over the top, but this one's less than 300 pages. This is about this couple, Anna and Reed, she has resentment for her baby. That's about to change with the words any New Yorker would love to hear, affordable housing lottery. It looks like they won an apartment. He's dismissing disturbing events. Anna's deep unease and paranoia as the price of living in New York. People are odd, but he can't explain the needle-like bite marks on the baby. No idea, but I've heard great things. And then, last but not least, real quick, I got 3 books from Aardvark Book Club because Book of the Month has not been doing it for me. As you see, none of these were Book of the Month because I've been skipping every single month. Their picks are atrocious. But I decided to try out Aardvark Book Club because they had really good picks, and these 3 books I've been wanting to read, but I haven't been able to get my hands on them because they're just so expensive, but they were like $10. I think it's $17 for the book, and then you can do add-ons for $10, so it was so much cheaper. So I got Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I've heard really mixed reviews on this one, but I tend to like her books, so I've really been wanting to give this one a try. So it says that it's a gothic southern thriller about a killer haunting a small Louisiana town where 2 outcasts, the preacher's daughter and the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, hold the key to uncovering the truth. So we'll see. And then this one I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about. It's called The Reformatory by Tananarive Dew. There we go. So this one is about it's a novel set in Jim Crow, Florida, and it follows this guy as he's sent to a segregated reform school that is a chamber of terrors where he sees the horrors of racism and injustice for the living and the dead. So it's like a slow burn paranormal book about segregation. I think it's based on a real school, so I can already tell this is going to be like a heavy hitting impactful book, but also has some like spookiness to it. And then the last one that I picked up was Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I've never read anything by her before, but she wrote the Pisces and that other weird book. She writes weird books, okay? But this one is about grief, and that's why I picked it up. And so this one is about a woman that is seeking respite from an emptiness that plagues her. She fled to California into the desert to escape a cloud of sorrow for both her father, who's in the ICU, and her husband, whose illness is worsening. So she's dealing with a lot of grief and depression, and she finds this huge cactus, and apparently you can like go into the door of the cactus and she enters, and it's like this mythical world. I don't know, it sounds crazy. It has really mixed reviews, but I really enjoy books about grief, so that's why I picked this one up. And every once in a while, a book that's really bizarre and off the walls works for me if it has like a really good theme to it. So I've been wanting to try this one out. So yeah, that is finally it, I think, for my book haul. Yeah, let me know if any of these sound interesting, if you want vlogs, whatever you want, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!